The kitten or the senior cat? If you're in the market to adopt a feline, which one is better? The pros and cons can be both universally accepted yet also totally subjective. So much of the ownership experience, from top to bottom, can often boil down to your home environment and your overall living situation and personality rather than the actual age of the cat that you've decided to adopt. In this material, I'll give you a general overview of what you can potentially expect from a kitten and what you can possibly expect if you decide to bring that adult cat or even senior feline into your life. So much of the question, is it better? Well, there is no true consensus. What's good for you? Well, it won't be good for everyone else, not always. So just keep that in mind. Interesting topic for sure, and I've got you covered. Stay tuned. Let's first begin things on the kitten side of life, the notable pros and cons. Young cats, they are full of life and full of energy. They're new to the world, and every single day is a brand new adventure, a new chance to be curious. The fun just never seems to end. And with that said, raising a kitten can be a task. It's a lot of hard work. And right out of the gate, if you're a bit on the short end of the energy department, well, that could be a problem. Also, the time department, and if you just don't have the focus to handle this undertaking, well, a kitten, unfortunately, it just might not be the pet for you. Kittens enjoy life around other kittens. That's also another thing to consider. A kitten as the only pet, that's another potential concern. While kittens are cute and cuddly, make no mistake, that curious behavior can also place them on the front line of danger. Just another thing to be mindful of. This means that you'll have to be on your A game all of the time. Now, having said all of that, if you can meet the moment, everything that I just laid out could be right up your alley. If you're young and have multiple people living in your home, having a kitten could bring a renewed energy to the home and be loads of fun. Two kittens, three kittens, all from the same litter. If you're up for the challenge, this could be a wonderful choice. Another positive, if you're ready for the task, kittens can be a bit easier to train. Well, why is that? They're coming to you with a clean slate. They can't be set in their ways, they haven't been alive long enough. This could work in your favor as everything you teach them will essentially be all they've ever really known. Another positive? The period of your cat essentially bouncing off the walls, well, it won't last for too long. Early adulthood will soon arrive, and the more your cat becomes comfortable with you, your home, and the living environment as a whole, the more they'll start to trust you and mellow out a bit. They'll play and they'll still be full of energy, but it will manifest as more of a controlled energy. So, it's really all about meeting that initial challenge as an owner. And if you can do it, you'll have a blast. Who knows, that kitten you take in today could live to be 20 years old. That's a wonderful book of empty pages with memories that are just waiting to be made. Now, let's transition to the adoption of a senior cat, an older feline. Well, to state the obvious, you can take most everything I just said and flip it. It's pretty much the opposite. This grand challenge of having enough energy to meet your cat's energy and this notion of a curious cat going on endless adventures and getting into mischief, that's really not a thing if you adopt a cat that's already, say, 15 years of age. Senior cats, they can be a struggle when it comes to being adopted. The negatives are obvious, and this is why kittens are the preferred choice more times than not. Now, let's go over some of those pros and cons for the older felines, an older cat. Well, they already know who they are. And while this can be difficult for you if you're attempting to get your new cat to conform to the new environment, the pro here is that if your cat doesn't really have a wild hair and is not known to be a bit of a handful, they won't become a handful, highly unlikely. It's a lot like a person. Who you are at age 12 is probably not who you're going to be at age 58, but there's a good chance that who you are at 58 is who you'll be at 88. You'll age, of course, but you're not likely to undergo some dramatic personality transformation. Who you are is who you are by that age. Your senior cat, 15 years old, they are who they are, and that's who they're going to be from here on out. The advantage of an older cat is that you know what you're getting. Senior cats understand the playbook of life, and, for example, they'll use the litter box properly, whereas a new kitten on the scene could very well attempt to build a sandcastle that looks like Garfield. You just never know with a kitten, and that can be a pro or a con depending on what you're after. If you're looking for a more reserved feline who has traded in a lot of playtime for extra nap time, then you'll likely find it with an older cat. If you're seeking a good cuddle buddy, a good cat for your children, a cat that won't get too rough with playtime and potentially cause harm, this is another positive for a senior cat. Older cats go quite well with youngsters. And what about your age? If you're in your 60s or 70s, getting up there yourself, a senior cat will likely match you. And that's a good thing. And even if you're younger and are still pounding that 9 to 5 work schedule, this can play into your hands as an owner quite well. There's a lot more confidence involved when it comes to leaving an older cat on the sofa for the day than there is leaving a kitten in the home without supervision. There's a respectable chance that when you arrive home, your senior cat will be right there on the sofa where you left them. And there's also a respectable chance that your kitten will be swinging from the ceiling fan while laughing hysterically when you return home. Another pro in the older cat column, senior cats, well, they really don't want or need a tag team partner. They're quite content being the only pet, being the only cat. This is often not the case with a kitten. If you're loving the peaceful life and the quiet life, yet you really want a cat, a pet that will match your environment and the atmosphere that you've created for yourself, give a senior cat a chance. So, as you can plainly see, there is no concrete answer here. I could bring in 100 different people and they'd likely present 100 different living situations with all types of quirks and variations. Single woman in her 20s in an apartment. Single man with a roommate, but late 20s. Adult in her 40s taking care of her 70-something-year-old mother in a two-bedroom house. Young family, late 20s with two toddlers living in a middle-class home. I could go on, and it's for this reason there is no true answer, because it's all about what you can accommodate, what you're willing to accommodate, and what you're willing to do. How hands-on do you really want to be? Generally speaking, kittens are a better fit with younger people, and senior cats are often a better fit with older adults. But even that's not always a slam dunk. The only thing concrete that I can offer up is this piece of advice. Attempt to do right by the cat. Do right by yourself, make no mistake, no doubt, but make the best choice for the cat. Anyone can adopt a feline, but does that feline really belong with you? Does that cat really belong in your environment? Can they thrive in your home? Do you have the means to allow your cat to thrive? If the answer is no, then it's best to do what's right. In life, we all want things, but how many times have we all made poor decisions when it comes to our wants? I bet you wanted those pair of sneakers. I really bet you did, but now where are they? In a box, gathering dust. I bet we'd all like to get our money back on many of our wants in life, things that we just couldn't do without, yet they're just in a closet someplace right now. When adopting a cat, a feline of any age, take a step back and think long term. Is this a good idea for the moment, or is it a good idea for the future? The very last thing a cat needs is to be adopted and then turned over just a few short months later, thus facing an uncertain future. To the wonderful audience of Senior Cat Wellness, first off, let me know about the pros and the cons. I'm fully aware that I didn't mention everything, and that's primarily because I respect the opinions of the audience. I know that I've got a very intelligent audience, and I don't claim to know it all, so by all means, the pros and the cons to adopting a kitten and a senior cat, please add away. Share any additions to what I've mentioned already. And if you have an adoption story to share, please let me know. And for the sake of the channel and, of course, the channel name, anyone out there adopt a senior cat? Did a cat enter your life in the midst of their very own golden years? Please let me know. My senior cat, Burl, who passed away almost 3 years ago, I really didn't know him and too well, at least, until he was about 12 or so, and he lived to be either 20 or 21. Your stories, your comments, the comments section, it's all yours. If you enjoyed this content, please give the video a like and subscribe to the channel. I'd certainly love to have you as a member of the Senior Cat Wellness family. And until next time, thank you so very much for watching, and as always, I will talk to you later.